Welcome back. Thank you for listening in the morning, and I'm going to go detail into what I was talking in the morning. So everyone is talking about AI, right? And if I ask you, will AI solve the problems that we are facing today? Right? How many of you say yes? Can I hear hands up? Okay. So nobody, yeah, some of the problem will be solved, right? So, right. In the morning, we talked about the visions of the nation, right? So if you look at the hierarchy, there's national vision and then institutional strategic plans, right? The institutional strategic plan then divided into department goals, and individuals take their KPIs and they work for the universities and try to create human capacity, create better society, and create more jobs and things like that. I'm going to ask one more question if you don't mind. For the past 30 years, we've been talking about this employability. You would hear corporate will complain that students come out of universities, not all of it, but majority of it, they are not employable, and we need to do more about it. Ministries complain, corporates complain, and then we thought maybe we should build a career placement software that guides people how to get a better job. Did that solve the problem of employability? Not exactly. I can see the faces. And sometimes we are also very careful, like, what should I say this openly or not, right? I'm a technology vendor. I'm a technologist myself. But I am not here to give you a sales pitch. I am, like I said in the morning, I work inside the university more than the outside the university, helping leaders to build strategies, build curriculums, build policies, and think differently to compete or bring the better students out of the universities. And one of the things that I noticed when I started Creatrix campus for universities, I noticed nobody's focusing on the faculties, and though they are the one that is really doing all the work, right? So everyone is focused on student success, experience, and all the good stuff. And the faculties, the leaders, they will all have to work very, very hard. There's one common thing that you would notice with the big universities that are producing results. It is not just always a software that magic for them. It is the people who really worked hard to make it happen. That's the reality. Now, these are our ambitions. We want better accreditation, better ranking, better students out of our universities, keep our faculties, find real talent, find budgets, find grants. So these are the focus of large part of the universities that you see, not just in GCC, but you see across all over the world, right? Now, why doesn't technology products solve the bigger problems that we are talking about? And this is what I've been perfecting with our team, the partners that we have been working across, from Europe to Singapore, Asia to all the way to United States. So we have the reality is that we have a broken, defragmented systems. It's not a system problem. It's not a software problem. It's not a funding problem, because in GCC, they have invested heavily on infrastructure, on education. It's not a talent problem, because this room is full of all talented people and rest of the university staff as well. So it's not a talent problem. It's not an ambitious problem. It's because we all have high ambition, right? So what is really, why can't we produce the result that we are all aspiring to do it? Because in the morning I mentioned the goals and visions of the countries are just not mere visions. They are all mandates. So that we are going to shoulder a big responsibility of taking this responsibility to produce better human capital and produce AI-enabled knowledge workers, right? And creators, business people, entrepreneurs, and things like that. In UAE, When accreditation changed their policies, accreditation changed their process, it creates a wave of problems for us, challenge for us, right? And people will talk like, when you have a graduate and you have 2 people in your cohort graduate, you get full mark. But if you have 100, only 80 graduate, you get only 80 mark. So when accreditation systems make things complex and you lose marks, that produces more and more challenges. It's not about me challenging any framework, but it is, we have to think in terms of integrations of policies and governance. So I'll tell you, when we try to build, when we listen to vendors like us, we would say our systems are the greatest in the world. Take AI, we can build you, agentic AI for you, we can turn things around, we will do magic for you. But according to me, we can solve some of the problems, and we cannot solve the problem that we are behind the national vision. We cannot solve the problem that you are not behind the strategic plan that your university has, right? So if you look at these problems, and we've been perfecting every models that we call it as life cycle of the product. Now, we might go and buy a software that will solve your accreditation problem, right? Or we might buy a software that will solve your scheduling problem. But the problem is the scheduling originates from your academic calendar. From there, you have to do your course offerings. You have to do schedule later every semester. If some schedules are not the same, and you look at pharmacy education or medical education, their schedules are different, right? And when you look at the outcome of the scheduling, it has to lead to a faculty workload. So when we work with the big, large universities, they don't have a technology problem. They don't have a funding problem. They don't have a strategy problem, but they have a problem of defragmented ideas and systems. And that's what we have mastered and almost perfected it. I say almost because we have not had the volumes to proclaim we are the best in the world. So we have to solve a problem according to the life cycle. If it's a student life cycle, it's not a linear process. You're looking at students not just in your bachelor's, they are coming back for your master's, so you have to remember all their old informations. Sometimes you are taking a student only from another country for 3 months. Sometimes they are a returning student from another break, right? And sometimes you have students doing a credit transfer from another university. So the student life cycle, even before enrollment, it's not linear, it's very complex. From there, if you're working on universities that are complex, where students would like to choose whatever the course they want, and it has to be telling them which course to choose, what's the elective, and things like that, you have to let the AI decide it, right? So I'm just saying every life cycle we take it, whether it's a faculty life cycle, academic life cycle, they are not linear, and simple software point solutions can solve specifics of those problems. So if you, let's say, if you have an academic hold on the student, and if it's on the SIS, and the student advisor, academic advisor is using a software, a specific software to advise the students on what's the right elective, what's the right course, they might just go ahead and approve the plan of the student because they just don't know he has an academic hold or he has a behavioral hold because they're not talking to each other. And I can go on and on about the integration issues. It's not integration with APIs and things like that. It is a policy, it's the process that seems to have taken a break here. Now, I will come to the solution because they might not give me more time. So what we have done in our company, we built a software that's not just a product, we built a platform. This platform enables universities to build their policies on our software, their process on our software. So what happens is if you come and say, this is my admission process, we will let them map the whole process without writing a single code. And it tells where to go next, what to do, when to send an email, when to attach a document, what happens. Like when we say admission, right? What if a student is joining as a, we have work experience, they have a work experience, and you want to give them credits based on their work experience. Can you put together a team of people who will evaluate their portfolio before you would say how many credits they get? Can your admission software handle that, right? And if you have a strategic plan that tells that we want to bump our student success by 10%, thus the accreditation software knows that, right? And whenever there is an accreditation, we fight for evidence. We ask professors, we ask deans, we work with the departments, hundreds and hundreds of hours spent on collecting evidence for ranking and accreditation. Can this software support evidence from all the way? So we built an orchestration platform, which is basically, if you want a student information system, we can give you. If you want assessment lifecycle, we can give you. If you want a student career platform, we can give you. But what we do is we don't say we are the best. Since you probably have a better SIS, you probably have a LMS that you really like, maybe a scheduling software that's very specific to your industry. This software can orchestrate all of those software into one mother system. We call it as academic operating system. And it produces the result, brings the data in a cleaned way, because when you integrate, it doesn't bring the data in a structured and clean way. Our software will take care of it because it's academic aware. It understands your strategic plan, it understands your goals and KPIs and things like that. So the data will be validated before it moves to our data hubs and things like that. So if you look at it, the policy, when we say policy, the policies are your GPA policy or your promotional policies or, finance policies. You might set up in your student finance system that, if he's a citizen, give 20% discount. If he's a veteran, give him 5% discount. So these are policies and rules. They have to be foundationally set that AI can take as a data, right? Then the process has to be perfected. The workflow has to be perfected. Every life cycle, whether it's your scheduling approval or course approval. Imagine a course gets changed. How many days and weeks does it take even to reflect on your finance system? Does it reflect on your public-facing website? You have to follow up with IT, you have to follow up with different stakeholders internally before it even reaches it. And guess who's suffering in between? The students, right? So that's why we made this complete orchestrated operating system. Keep your best system that's working. And if you don't have a system, we will fill that gap. Past 10 years, that's what we have been perfecting, right? And if you look at the top two layers, every academic institution needs a structured data. That what we do is we would take the data, put it on a data mart or a data hub, and try to use business intelligence software, try to get nice dashboards for our leaders and things like that. But the thing is, nobody has time to look at it. So this is where AI will come into picture to build alerts and reminders, or in some cases, it will take decisions for you. And these things will only become easy. It will only be possible if you build your process, policies, not in documents, but completely automated in a powerful AI-based native systems that understands your requirement. Then workflows are perfected. Your streaming of data is perfected. Only then you have a perfect data that will help you build your chatbots, AI agents, dashboards, all the possible experience for students, faculties, and leaders. So I'm going to summarize one last point, then I will be done. It's not going to be how many tools and technologies you buy that's going to make you the best in the region. It is going to be the foundational things. We have to go back and create the foundational things right. And I'm telling past 30 years, universities are buying softwares after softwares. They may have solved a specific problem, they have not solved the coherent big problems yet. So I invite you, come collaborate with us, talk to us. You don't need to buy our software. We'll be happy to share the white papers that we built. how to build a responsible AI, because building an AI comes with a responsibility. We have to include human in the loop. We don't build AI to replace human, we build AI to empower human. And AI is not magic, AI is maths. So it needs structure. Fix your structures, fix your process, fix your policies, work with people with a good DNA like us. We have a DNA of transformation, not transaction. So I invite for a bigger conversation with your teams and leadership to tell you how you could go and meet your institutional vision and your national vision, so we could create an amazing society that respects each other, that helps each other, that grows the world together. Thank you for this opportunity.
So I have a question related to your last slide, which talks about the base of pyramid that explains the necessity of having policies, guidelines, procedures, or whatever. Every university, I believe that they are working on similar things. Is there any, for example, unified provisions, unified procedures, unified guidelines, especially at the ethical level, that need every university to follow and implement in regard to adopting AI tools or AI, whatever, whatever tools, whatever, anything related to AI, because we're struggling in writing these policies and procedures and the guidelines that we need to follow at all level, at assignment level, research level, especially the research project levels, from the student perspective and from faculty members perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a great question. Um, I'm going to give you something about what I do personally. So basically, I'm just going to use this so everybody can hear me better. Hello? It's working? Okay. The question is that whether we have standard process and policies that institution can take advantage based on our experience. It's a great question. And we do. Now, answer is we do. But I'll tell you where we are at that. I am a doctoral student because I wanted to study back to realize what the institutions are struggling. So I'm doing my research on how do you decide on AI. I'm building a framework, part of my doctoral research, to decide on AI strategy, tools, and technology. I'll be happy to share with you on how that framework works. Number two, and I work with many leaders. They all have the same problem, because what happens the minute they think about AI, they go to ChatGPT, notebook LMs, build videos, strategies, and it's only on the learning side of it. But we can think about policies. When we talk about policies, I tell you a policy about guardrails, right? Today, if you expose the data to AI, the problem will be that who has access to the data, right? And if you could be a finance data that you don't want to see, but the AI doesn't understand that who's asking that question. So we spent the past 3 years building an identity module that works on top of AI. Before you prompt in ChatGPT, we have the similar window like ChatGPT, you ask the question. It has an awareness of who is asking this question. So if you're a dean of engineering, you can learn everything about your student, not the mechanical department, not the pharmacy department, or you cannot ask questions related to finance and things like that. So the guardrails are important, and that itself a policy. When we are talking about policy, we are not talking about a policy in PDF published on your internet and things like that. The policy is automated in the system. The policy is like who has access to what. If there is a student that is falling back, what are the actions to do? Somebody talked about mental health. If there is a mental health that we have discovered issues, patterns of the students are struggling, what are the steps that we are going to do? Can we automate it? We built plans for such things. So what happens is, as soon as it identifies a problem by default, not by human interventions, it should know whom to talk to. If it's a attendance issue, who should talk to? If it's a behavioral issue, whom should it? It all has to be automatic, because we can't email, ask for people availability and things like that, right? So everything has to work together. Only then you can solve a big problem, you know. So I hope we can have a conversation offline. I think they're just behind me. So thank you very much for asking the question. It makes me feel better.